Oh, welcome back to the Off-Road Camper. Everybody's favorite updates on the diesel heater and the box truck. So, everything was pretty normal yesterday. We had the diesel heater going for about half the day yesterday and then into the night. I woke up this morning about 6:30 a.m. The diesel heater was off and the entire truck smelled like soot, really strong, really bad. So I went over and checked to see if the transformer that powers the diesel heater was on, and it wasn't. It was off, which means the diesel heater had shut down, and the transformer and the battery bank will shut down when there's no power draw. So I spent about 4 hours with all the doors and windows open. It was 37 degrees and I got fans blowing full blast and all the doors and windows open, trying to get the soot smell out of here, and I'm not even sure where the soot smell came from. It was really, really strong. It was bad enough that when I blew my nose this morning, there was a bunch of black gunk in my nose. I'm sure you didn't want to hear that, but it's kind of relevant to the subject. I ran up and got more diesel because I thought the diesel heater was empty because it had stopped going. And my diesel can was empty. But however, there was still about a quarter of a tank of fuel in the diesel heater. I also took that time to fill up my propane bottles so that I could run the Mr. Buddy heater while I was monkeying around with the diesel heater. I wasn't sure if it was going to work, if it was going to smell like soot. So got things warmed up with the Mr. Buddy heater, and then I messed around with the diesel heater, and yeah, it seems to work fine. I pushed the button for start heating. It said start heating, and it fired right up. Nope, it doesn't seem to have any kind of smell, no soot smell, no diesel, no smoke. There's no smoke coming out of the exhaust pipe on the outside. Everything seems to be fine. So I'm not sure what happened, but boy, it was just totally nauseous smelling in here. I mean, it was just really bad. And of course, I was sitting here suffering through 37-degree heat, trying to air the truck out. I had all of my blankets wrapped around me. I had two or three coats on, well, a hoodie and two coats, trying to stay warm while I aired the truck out because it was really bad. But I did find that the heat duct tube here, see right here, I had taped that because it had a small slit in it where it was coming out of the diesel heater down here. So I flipped it around and put that on the output side and put the clean end where it used to have the vent here, attached it to the diesel. I don't know if that made any difference, but I flipped it around just to be on the safe side. And then I put that little directional vent cover thing back on so that I can direct the heat more towards the center of the floor of the truck. But yeah, I'm not really sure what happened. This is the 120 volt to 12 volt power source I have for the diesel heater, because it won't run off of any of the DC power I have in the truck. It draws too much power on startup. Nothing I have will run it. I've got a Jackery, I think it's like a 5,000 or 500 or something like that, that a neighbor loaned me to try. I have the Lion Energy Summit, and I have the two EcoFlow Delta 2 Maxes, and nothing put out enough power to run the diesel heater on start. And I even have 12 volt power here in the truck. I got this working. Had a bad ground, and once I ground it, the battery started charging. So weird as it may be, and all I did was moved this ground wire here from this hole up here down to that hole up there. This screw goes right into the frame of the truck, and those are steel uprights right there. So I'm not sure what difference that made. Maybe there's some corrosion behind the wood, I don't know, but I moved it and was running the truck to yesterday, ran the truck to go get some errands, and the battery started charging. So, but this everything comes through this circuit breaker and this switch box, and that only puts out 12 amps max. So the circuit breaker is 80 amp, but everything goes through this bus bar and down to here. Unless I wanted to wire directly to the bus bar, which I guess I could do, then it would be whatever output is coming off of the batteries through the 80 amp circuit breaker there to the bus bar. But yeah, it's working now. So anyway, that's the transformer, and boy does this thing suck up the power. I am telling you, I was getting 2 weeks out of these EcoFlow batteries, charging my devices multiple times a day. I've got 3 of these Duracell LED lamps, and I've got 2 of these flashlights. These Duracell things, I charge those probably every one of them at least 3 times a day. And then I've got some little, my favorite lamps here, these hardcore pod lights. You can't get these in the US anymore, which really sucks because these are my favorite. This one, you have to hold a switch to get it to work. It won't stay on. This one here works, and I have a third one somewhere. I don't know where it went. It vanished. I gave them all to Sign Girl when she was traveling with me for 27 months. She had them all. When she left those 2 stuck to the refrigerator in the base camp trailer. I don't know where the third one is, so I don't know if it still works or not. But those last longer than these Duracells, so I'm assuming the battery is larger. Anyway, this transformer is drawing a bunch of power. I mean, tons. I'm having to recharge these batteries every 2 days. Now, I do have solar I can use to charge them, and where the truck is parked, I have shore power I can use, and then I have my little electric generator, my little Harbor Freight generator. So it's not a big deal to charge with, but the only thing that's different over those things lasting 2 weeks is that transformer. So I don't know if that has anything to do with the diesel heater kicking on and kicking off. I mean, it runs out of fuel in the middle of the night, and then I go and check it, and there's still fuel in the bottom of the fuel tank. Not a lot, but there's still fuel. And sometimes I'll hear it turn off, and it'll say, check oil level. And I'm like, check oil level, and there's fuel in there. So I don't know what's going on. But, yeah, so that's the update for today. I'm rambling again, and the last thing you guys want to see is the front half of the box truck. Well, hell, just for shits and giggles, we'll show you the back half of the box truck. There you go. And everything's a real disaster in here right now. I've been trying to sort things out again. I got a bunch of stuff from the trailer in here. And so I'm trying to sort through and better organize stuff. And, I don't know if I've posted anything on Instagram or not, but flip that up here. This is the cab of the truck. So got these cloth upholstered seats, have armrests. I have air conditioning and heat, but I do not have any kind of cruise control or anything along those lines. And I gotta wipe down my door panel again. Sorry, it's raining in Portland again. No surprise. But yeah, but I do have this fancy radio here. You can't really see it, but it's got GPS on it. I have no idea how to work all the functions on it. It's got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, music. I tried to use it a couple of times and I could only get local FM and AM channels to work. It wouldn't connect to my phone or any of the music on my phone, so I don't really listen to music when I drive anyway. It would be nice to get the navigation that's built into it to work, but it is a JVC Kenwood. So, and then I've got the monitor there, which is for all my cameras. I've got a front camera, like a trail cam. I have a backup camera, and then I have rear 3/4 view cameras up on the roof of the truck so I can see my blind spots. That's basically just for backing up, but it does help on the highway. And this thing's got set, you can see it's got a little microphone there, and it's all set up for voice calling, but I don't know how to make that work either. I've got a little switch here. This is to adjust the bass level because it does have a powered subwoofer right there. So it's got a Kicker Hideaway powered subwoofer, which bumps pretty hard when you can get a signal on the radio. It bumps pretty good. It is, and I was told that the door speakers are upgraded too. I don't know what's in there, but yeah. So yeah, just a base model truck. It does have the fancy multi-storage pocket console on the doghouse. Normally they either have just the flat one or the one that just has 2 cup holders. So this was changed out from a different van by the previous owner. So that is the story for today. Nasty soot smells in the trailer, and the diesel heater shutting off for no apparent reason. I just can't figure out why it shut off. But I'll post a shorter version, more condensed version of this to Instagram. But as always, like, subscribe, and share.